What's up, everyone? Welcome into the Run Your Day podcast. As always, your host, Dan Hafner, coming at you today. It is Wednesday, my friends, and today's topic is this. It's all in your head. As always, thank you all for joining. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. So before I get started, I do want to apologize to everyone. If you didn't notice, there was no show yesterday for Tuesday, and I think I had a pretty good reason. I had the migraine of my life. My life when I woke up. I don't think I've ever had a migraine in my life. I thought maybe I had before, but now that I've had one, oh man, it was rough. Like I got up and realized something was kind of off, went for a walk, kind of did a couple things when I got back and just kind of hit the couch and I could not function. I could not function. I was sitting there. I went back to bed for a little while. It was painful. I was actually I was dizzy. The fan on the ceiling was like moving in circles. Like the world was kind of disorienting to me. Like I couldn't stand. I was losing my balance. It was a little scary. I probably should have went to the hospital maybe, but hey, I kind of stuck it out and just, it worked itself out, and that was really kind of what I wanted to talk about today was I ended up going into work yesterday. I ended up doing everything that I normally do. Maybe I didn't do it to the best of my ability, but I did it anyway, and I sucked it up and I got through it. And that was kind of the lesson I just wanted to share with you guys today was that it's all in your head, right? As I laid there, I came up with every excuse, every possible story I could think of to just say, you know what, I'm gonna take today off. I'm gonna go to the doctor. I'm gonna just kind of go back to bed. I'm gonna just kind of ride this one out and just see what happens. And the more I sat there, the more I realized that it was me being a baby. It was just me being a baby, like plain and simple. And I was pretty proud of myself, not to pat myself on the back or anything, but I was proud of myself for overcoming that and going into work and making a full day of what I did. Now, did I drag ass? Yes, absolutely. Like 100%. Everything kind of faded in the afternoon and everything kind of worked out. But, I think a lot of us kind of go through this at times in our lives. These fears, these doubts, these stories are all in our head. And I harp on this a lot, on a lot of shows. And it's nothing new that I'm talking about. But the thing that I found out from that yesterday and the lesson that I learned in my own experience was that it literally is all in your head, right? Like the pain that I was experiencing, the obstacle that I was facing was in my head, literally. Like it was literally the pain in my head that was keeping me from moving forward with boldness, with courage, with conviction, and actually attacking my day and doing well. But a lot of times the things that block us are figuratively in our heads, right? The fears that aren't real, the doubts that are unsubstantiated, the things that we think will block us, the things that we think will trip over, they're not there lost my thing. Those things aren't there in reality. Now, sometimes there are roadblocks to things. I will give you that. But by and large, a lot of us face this problem that it's all in our heads. It's all in our heads. Like, what would you do if you knew you wouldn't fail at something? What would you do if you knew that no matter what you decided to do today, you would not fail? It is guaranteed you would not fail, right? It's kind of the same question of like, what would you do if you had all the money in the world? What? I mean, obviously different question, same concept. Like, what would you do if you knew you wouldn't fail? All those things leave your head, right? Like all of those insecurities, all of those fears, those reservations that you have about things, they just disappear because it's eliminated by that thought of like, oh wow, like I'm guaranteed to win this or I'm guaranteed to do this. Oh, cool, I'm going to go do this. Like that's how it is in real life. I don't know how much more clear I can make it to you. Like I've lived this, I've seen it in me and in other people. When you go forward with something that you know you're not going to fail at, because you just know you're never going to quit when it comes to getting that, like, that's how you obtain it. Yeah, you might fail. Yeah, you might screw stuff up. Yeah, you might block yourself through your own thoughts and actions and feelings. But at the end of the day, if you just don't quit, you will not fail. Like, it's the one way to guarantee that you never fail. Just stop quitting. I read a book, I think it was like last summer, and it's by a man named Matt Fury, and it's called The Unbeatable Man. And what he kind of talks about is his childhood and how he kind of grew up in a wrestling town, and was actually an Olympic wrestler, wrestled at Edinburgh, was a very prominent wrestler. I think he also wrestled at Iowa for a little while. But the whole concept of the story he told in that book was the story of him going to the state championships in high school. And even though he lost, well, shit, I ruined the book for you. But I mean, it's still a great read. Like, even though he came up short of his goal, the whole concept of the story was that he became the unbeatable man because he just refused to quit. Like, there was not an ounce of DNA of quit inside of him or inside of his mind, which was a turnaround because he used to be like that, right? And the whole premise of the entire book was that the unbeatable man is just somebody that literally never quits. So when you get in your head, when you start blocking yourself and you start thinking, going down these rabbit holes of these stories that you can't do it, that it's too hard, that these things are all in your head. And I experienced this yesterday. Like, everything was in my head, and I had to sort through it all, and I wouldn't have been able to do it without a lot of practice and probably a year or two of being able to, like, figure out what's going on in my brain, being mindful of it, and being able to sort through it. So my question for you today is what is in your head that's blocking you? What is in your head right today that is blocking you from getting something you want or doing something you want to do? Because I guarantee you, it's all in your head. It's not real. It's a fake obstacle, and you know it. And you know if you try to overcome it, you will, because you're not going to quit. So that's my question for you and my challenge for you today, my friends. As always, Dan Hafner going to sign off here. Make it a great rest of your day.
Thank you for listening to the Run Your Day podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's show. If you did, feel free to share today's show with friends and family. Until next time, have a great day.